I got a call to remove bees from one of the weirdest places I've ever been asked to remove bees from before, this toilet. The bees had been living in the tank of this toilet for years, and they were using the small holes in the back of the toilet as their hive entrance. These holes were easy for the bees to defend, and they sealed up any other spaces around the tank with propolis. Propolis is pretty much bee glue, so it took a bit of prying and patience, but I loosened the lid and I lifted it up to reveal a happy and healthy colony of honeybees. I gently set the lid on the bees' new hive. Then, I took a moment to marvel at what the bees had created. Here was my view. You can see the hive is full of honey, and there was also pollen and a ton of brood. And the bees had used every bit of space they had in the tank. Then it was time to get to work removing comb. I started by removing the outermost pieces of comb. The comb fit almost perfectly into my wooden frames. You'll see how the frame is almost the same size as the tank of the toilet. Traditional beehives like the one I'm using here were designed to replicate an environment that bees like to build in. If you compare the beehive I have on the ground to the tank of the toilet, you can begin to understand why the bees chose to live here. It's a small space, it's protected from the elements, it's well insulated, and those small entrances we saw on the back are the perfect size so that bees can enter and exit and easily defend. As I worked my way removing each piece of comb from the toilet, I took a second to examine the comb and do a quick check for the queen. Then I put the pieces of comb into the wooden frames of the new hive using rubber bands. The bees will attach the comb to the frame and chew through the rubber bands to remove them from their hive. This is because bees are so clean and they use their space so efficiently. Anything they don't need in the hive gets removed. All of this comb from the toilet will go into the new hive with the bees. The bees have worked hard to collect these resources, and I want everything they had in their old home to move with them into their new home. This includes all of their food, so all of the honey, nectar, and pollen in the hive, and also all of the baby bees that have not yet emerged from their cells. Seeing so much brood in the hive is always a good sign that the colony has a healthy queen. But I also saw tiny bee eggs in some of the cells, which is a sure sign that the colony had a queen laying eggs within the past 3 days. This is because it takes 3 days for the eggs to hatch into larvae. Here you can see a close-up shot of what the brood looked like inside the tank of the toilet. This piece of comb also had bee eggs, larvae, pollen, and honey. I was about halfway done at this point, but I still had not yet seen the queen. The bees were not really leaving the tank of the toilet, so this told me that the queen was probably still in the toilet. Each piece of comb I took out had more bees and was full of capped cells of baby bees. This told me that I was probably right in the hive's brood nest. Since it's the queen's job to lay eggs for the colony, there's always a strong chance that you'll spot the queen in this area of the hive. And you might notice that I have my queen clip at the ready. It's that little plastic thing hanging off the front of my shirt. It's a very important tool for beekeepers, and during a removal I have a queen clip on me at all times. I like to keep it clipped to the right side of my shirt since I'm right-handed, and I always try to keep it in the same spot on my shirt so that I can grab it without looking or without fumbling as soon as I spot the queen. I kept slowly and carefully working my way through the tank of the toilet. People always wonder how I can stay so calm while working with bees, but really the only way